Hi everyone, welcome to the Knacklers workshop. So as you saw by the description, what I've required is a planar thicknesser for the EMCO Star. These are quite rare in the UK, so I was extremely pleased to have picked it up. I've had it about 4 weeks now. I haven't done really too much with it, just been it's just been sitting on the bench most of the time. But everything moves, everything with the exception of one of these levelling feet. The one on the far side isn't moving, which I've given it a good clean. I've put it in some 𝗪𝗡𝗔𝗡𝗥. I've put it on a little container underneath the screw, and I've now got it soaking in some oil. I'm going to try gently, if not I'm going to have to try and put some heat. I really don't want to have to start drilling it out, to be honest, so fingers crossed on that one. But let me just what we've got, if we move the safety guard, we've got the planer here, and that you adjust the height through this knob here. And then if we go around to the other side, what we've got is the thicknesser. Well, it's obviously on the other side as well, but this is the hand wheel to adjust the up and down, so you can set the thickness you want to trim your wood to. What is interesting is I've lost the other bit, hang on. So what we've got is this part, and this fits into here. Sorry, it's a bit dark here. The guys have been machining today, and I'm having to do it early evening, the film. So that fits into there, and that's what actually drives the blades. Now, because there's no actual independent motor, and we can see we've got the standard clamp here for the EMCO Star. So if we go over to the EMCO Star, this part fits onto the drive of the main spindle, and then the clamping bars go over there. So you just lift it on and sit it there, and away it goes. But what it has led me now to come to the conclusion, as if you've watched the previous updates on the EMCO Star, you know I've got it currently sitting on a workmate. Well, the thickness, or the planar thicknesser, is extremely heavy, and what I've now decided to do is I'm going to make a bench which will run to the end of these rails, because I previously thought of cutting them off. But then when it's not in use, I will just leave it up at this end, so I don't have to keep lifting it up and down, because it is quite heavy, and I'm not getting any younger. And what I will do was a brilliant suggestion by one of the viewers on a previous one, is to have wheels at this end, and then static feet at this end. So that will allow me to be able to sort of pick it up a bit like a barrow and move it out if I've got larger pieces of wood to contend with. So yeah, I'm extremely pleased to have got this. I will strip it down, clean it all up, and hopefully we can make it into something quite nice. Now, if we, I'll just put you down there for a second. If I take one of the bolts off, or the clamps for the, so let me just, so you can see we're turning it from pretty rusty to quite clean, and then I've been experimenting with cold bluing, and I've had some good tips from Mick at Mick's workshop, so that's good. And I've been using a vapor rust on here, and again I've had quite a challenging time in the past using it, but again it was a tip from Alistair at Adventures with a Very Small Lathe, who basically said you really need to degrease it before you use a vapor rust, or you just end up with some black gooey sort of thing at the end of it. And as we can see, it does come up pretty damn good if you do it. So there were some other bits and bobs. I've got over here, strangely enough, in a vapor rust. What I've got is a two-jaw chuck, but it expands outwards. So if you've so that's actually a genuine one for the EMCO Star. So really pleased to have that one. It was a bit of a hard work to drill one of the retaining screws out to be able to disassemble it, but eventually managed to do it. And if we look over here, there was some other accessories came with it. So we've got a mortiser here, which again, these, it's all becoming quite familiar, fit over the bars. Now this is pretty sort of tired, but all this stuff is because it's generally 50 plus years old. But one can, with a bit of work, a bit of elbow grease, you can get it quite good. Another cutter. What was interesting here, and the guys from the joinery shop, let me just put you there, told me there's I didn't even know such a thing existed. These are sort of, I don't know what you call them, tapered washers. So depending where you position them, sorry, I'm not on the camera. Depending where you position them, what you'll get is it makes this saw blade wobble. So if you're cutting box joints, you can adjust these to give you the width you want to make your cut. So that was quite handy having those in amongst the bits and bobs. I don't even know what this is for, but it was there. And there were some other stuff that really did need a bit of love. Paint was bad, but as I say, with a bit of elbow grease, you can get stuff looking pretty good, and very serviceable. It's just age-related stuff, So I've managed to track down. On here you have, let me see if I can find one. Move you back over here. Sorry about all the walking around. These Star handles, I've managed to find a source for those. So yeah, so that's good. So I can bring this back to looking original. So I'm slowly going to work through it. I do need the bench now to progress this. But I think from looking at the manuals, I've got pretty much everything now. I think the only thing I don't have is the guard that goes around a grinding wheel, but I'm sure one will appear at some time. But let me just, while I've got your attention, just show you one more thing. Now, this is a VFD, and it's a single phase one, because the EMCO Star has only got it is a 1 horsepower single phase motor. Now, my mistake, through my lack of knowledge, was I originally purchased the EMCO Star because I thought I would be able to use the bandsaw. Actually, it was to be able to cut out bits and pieces for the 𝐒𝐂-𝐑𝐈𝐄𝐒 clock and general workshop use. and everyone told me that woodwork machines run a lot faster than metalwork ones, so then that became a problem. So with the help of Ollie from Ollie's workshop, he helped sort of define that VFD. So I'm going to fit that to the EMCO Star, so that should allow me to be able to control the speed, and then I can hopefully use it for metalwork as well, or just crank it back up to normal speed for any woodwork stuff. So, you know, big thanks to Ollie for his assistance there. And the other thing is, let me grab that. So I've got another one of these, rather grubby one of these. So once I clean that up, what I'm hoping is that I can attach to one of here, you know, so I can just replace these. I've got 4 of these now. So it's only by one bolt. You undo it and you take it off. So what the hope is, I can attach a diamond lapping wheel, turn the speed right down, and then I can use that for any lapping or of carbide tools. So I think this suddenly, we're assuming the VFD works, this now really becomes quite an important part of my workshop. And you know, and as I told you before, this one we can tilt. So by putting, and I've got a spare one of these now, putting it on this end, I'll be able to tilt to the right angles, and then I obviously can set this to the various angles. So I should be able to use this quite successfully. So I'm really, you know, it's really made quite a difference to my view of what I'm can use this machine for. So yeah, big step forward. I mean, to a certain extent, my slowness of getting things going is sort of paying dividends, in as much as the ideas of how I'm going to use these machines sort of evolve as I go along, as I learn more and find other accessories and just think about different things. So so the VFD is a great thing, and I'm also experimenting with that same VFD to see if I can use it on my little adept shaper. If it does work, I mean, I'll just reconfigure it initially just to see if it's feasible to work, and then if so, I will purchase a second one. But one of the guys, and if any of you know, I'll be grateful for some help in the comments, they suggested if you're using a single phase VFD, I think it was James at the Engineer's Workshop, what he said was you have to rev up this. It will work fine if you start it on quite a high speed and then back it off. Now that's fine for the EMCO Star, but obviously the little it's all covered up over here, but the small, sorry it's so dark here, this small shaping machine, if all I've got is, you're not really going to start that because there's no clutch or anything. It will, you don't want to start it off at too giant a speed. The only thing I can suggest, I've been thinking about, is obviously small pulley on the motor and large pulley up here. So then this is going slow, a whole lot slower than the motor. So that's the only idea I had to overcome it. But yeah. So it's still, this is still a bit work in progress, but slightly off topic. So apologies for that. So yeah, that's just a little bit of news on the EMCO Star. I'm sure you're all dying to see it going, and we will get there eventually. But the planer thicknesser, I'm super happy to have that. Okay, well, many thanks for watching. As always, staying happy, strong and healthy, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheerio.